let's start in 28 seconds. I will do an intro to this. The next time you could do it, I didn't write anything down for intro. And
Oh wait, I'm live by the way. This is on the Twitch live.
oh, that's fine. I'm starting soon screen.
I don't know how to work these things.
Well, I guess let's start it right now. Welcome
Let's
to
do
the
it.
Out of Mana podcast. You will be joining the real Shiesty and I on a very makeshift setup because my lack of prep.
Oh
But
no,
how you doing, good sir?
I'm doing fantastic. Look, I'm getting these weird things pop up, and we're out of to a good start already. I'm getting error messages pop up. OneDrive error. Oh man, this is fantastic. Good timing. I'm doing
You
great. How
wouldn't
about
be a
yourself?
streamer if you didn't have any tech issues. Like that's
Well,
like guaranteed for any
That,
streamer.
that is entirely true. And not only that, I'm still completely a novice. But here's to a good first episode 1 of the podcast. So go ahead with your intro. Ooh,
I already did it. I'm
Oh, that
drinking
was-
water in a solo cup.
I have. I don't know if I want to give everybody what I'm drinking because, why should I give Why should I give free sponsorship? We're not even getting paid for anything right now. So it's like
Just drink and enjoy. By the way, I'm
exactly.
not sure if you can see on my camera, but does it look like there's like a weird shadow wolf right there? Oh, never mind. The camera made it look weird. But from this
Shadow
angle, it
wolf?
looks like a wolf with like red eyes right back there.
I see the dot eye that you're talking about. Unfortunately, I don't have the imagination of. No wolf. Sorry, can't see the wolf.
Well, when I went closer and it stopped focusing on me, you could see it's the wall. But like for like a weird distance, I could see ears and a nose and red eyes.
Nah, sorry. But good imagination though.
So speaking of wolves, well, I see that there's one on your
I see what you did
there's
there.
one on your wall right there.
Yes.
Did you watch the trailer for the new Game of Thrones? What's it called? House of Dragons?
Oh, I thought you were segueing for Switcher. Yes, of course I did. Yeah, they both have wolves.
Yeah.
Yes, of course I did. What it came out like 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Obviously extremely excited. I only watched it like 2.5 times. Like I'm trying not to, watch it excessively, as excited as I am. But we're less than a month away to the day. So
Oh yeah, it comes out August 22nd.
no, 21st, I believe.
21st.
Yes. So now I have to figure out my HBO subscription and all that good stuff because I'm going to get it. So yeah, extremely excited. How about you?
Well, one, I'm extremely excited for the casting because there's two people in there that I'm a huge fan of. One is in what's it called, Bones and Shadows, and he also played the villain in Daredevil. But two is the girl. She played in Bates Motel and Ready Player One, and they both look great in the show. But not only that, everything that I see in the trailer reminds me of how Game of Thrones should have been because, well, if you've seen the trailer, we actually see the Golden Company that should have been in Game of Thrones, where the Targaryens are going to Essos and they're having their conflict. And so I am excited to see, Targaryens with the Valyrian and versus Essos and their whole army.
As exciting as it is to see that aspect of the world, is it a false sense of representation because it's obviously in the past versus we didn't see it in the present version of Game of Thrones? So would it really be that different, or because it's a super rich place, it's probably going to look the same?
I feel like, see, I get what you're saying because, like, we were like, oh, that could have led up to this, but since it is back in time, I wanted to give it a little bit of leeway because during the Targaryen time, things in Westeros and all that stuff was more prosperous. That's why when you seen the part or the scene where they had the Iron Throne, they had more swords in the Great Hall than they did in actual Game of Thrones.
I did notice that.
So,
well, actually, now we're going back to the trailer, and now you're probably gonna have to watch it too, and I'm gonna have to rewatch it. But like, I don't know why. I could have sworn though there was a couple different, that same room, of course. There was a couple different shots. That one, to your point, it had the one with like the flood of all the swords leading up to the Iron Throne, and I thought I saw some that didn't have all the swords there. So,
well, I think that second room that you've seen, I seen that too, But what's it called? It was in Game of Thrones. What was that place that Daenerys went to in the final season where she Dragon Rock, Black Rock, whatever it's called?
Is it, is it Black? No, it's not Black Rock, is it?
I can't remember.
Or is it just
or
called
Dragonstone?
Dragonstone, that's it. Yep, that is it.
Because Dragonstone also looked like King's Landing as well. Like
It
the
did.
chairs.
Yeah, you're right. It's true. That is very, very true.
So that's my guess. I could be wrong, but it looks like it was the Great Hall and Dragonstone.
No, that's a very good guess. You're probably accurate with that. So the other thing that I wonder is, maybe you know this because I don't. Do they anticipate as how many seasons this is going to be?
This is my information from 2008 before the 8th season aired, but they wanted the prequel to be at least 5 seasons to give them enough time for Game of Thrones sequel to actually happen.
Gotcha.
Well, that was the plan, as 5 seasons. Who knows? Obviously, popularity, they might squeeze out more, but we'll have to see. But so far, it's supposed to be 5.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't recall what it was greenlighted for. And then we kind of know obviously where the story is going to go. We just don't know exactly timestamp where exactly it's going to end. And I don't know if you've watched it, but even those that don't read the books, like myself, HBO's YouTube channel does a fantastic job with already narrating what you probably are more likely going to expect to see with like a more cartoon version. So kind of like spoilers in advance, but either way, I'm just stoked to see some got back, and I'm definitely looking forward to it.
When you say narrate, are you talking about that one video that came up before season 8 where it was like just a map and it was like a brown drawing?
No, go back, dude. They've released like a lot of different videos. Like they released once again like almost one for like all the houses, a bunch for just the Targaryen family. Yeah, there's probably a lot of other stuff you haven't seen yet. If you really want to see it.
I want to see it. I didn't even know they existed because I remember the last before the season 8 of Game of Thrones came out, they had that whole like 3-minute video of the whole Targaryen family, but Robert Baratheon was narrating it, saying the whole story of like the rebellion, how it started, and how the Targaryens fell. I
remember all those. Yeah, I think they even had some narrated by like Jon Snow or what was the name? Chris Harrington.
Chris.
Oh, not Chris Harrington. What the fuck?
Kit Harrington. Kit? Yeah, Kit.
My bad. Apologies, please. So and now he's forever gonna be known as Chris. But yeah, no, I remember those, and I like them too. So just a different format of storytelling, and it's very smaller form, which I guess appeals to a lot of the masses nowadays. But so yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. I mean, I feel like there's plenty to talk about, but I would just reserve that for when the show's out.
Yeah, especially when it's so close to coming out.
And so when it's so close to come out, but then we'll have ample opportunity to talk about it while it's live. I mean, we'll probably squeeze it into every week podcast. We'll talk a little bit about Game of Thrones. So.
We will.
Yeah, I just feel like, and I'm sure you're thinking this as well, it's probably going to be far more fucking gory than the original one.
I think it's also probably going to be more political too. Only because you see in the trailer how they were talking about the line of succession from the firstborn, then the daughter came into play, and all these other houses. It looks like it might be more, obviously, we're going to get dragons burning cities and all that stuff, but it looks like it's going to be more of like how Cersei played her game with House Tyrell, a lot back and forth and capturing each other. I feel like it's going to play more of that route, and I'm kind of looking forward to it too. And also, not to get my, obviously people could say whatever they want about season 8 of Game of Thrones, but the trailer for House of Dragons, the set pieces, the scenes, and all that stuff, they look like they're just amazingly done. Yeah,
it looks fantastic already, and obviously more dragons the better, right? So
yeah.
So let's segue that with the other wolf I thought you were going to talk
A
about,
gray wolf.
and Witcher season 3, right?
Yes.
What? Okay, first off, you're going to have to educate me and update me. Like, once again, I don't know what's going on with this. So I guess it was greenlit, and do we have any type of dates yet? I mean,
so before Witcher season 2 came out, we already knew we were gonna get season 3. Like
so that was okay.
they built a whole lot of stuff. Like they have an animated movie of what's the guy's name? The guy that trained God, what's the Witcher's name? I forgot.
Geralt.
Geralt. Yeah. There's a movie about the guy that trained Geralt, but then they also showed season 3 and potentially season 4 is already made. But the reason why I brought this up is because they just started shooting season 3 of The Witcher a month ago. So
Okay,
if they're shooting it now, that means by the December of next year we'll get it.
Don't you think we might get it even sooner?
Well, depending on the set pieces and all that stuff, it could take 6 to 8 months to film, and then another 6 to 8 months to edit and all that stuff.
For post,
yeah.
I thought the last one had a bigger setback because of COVID.
Well,
that's why I don't think it would take as long.
They've also been doing it. They filmed in 2019. They used the rest of it as reshooting in 2020 and then editing from 2020 to 2021. That's why we got season 2.
Got you. And I don't know if these were just basically that rumors, but because I would talk to a few coworkers about The Witcher, that I don't really talk too much, but Witcher was a topic that would come up. And I remember one of the guys saying that supposedly there was issues with can't think of the real life actor's name now, it's brain farting me.
Oh, Henry Cavill.
Yes, Henry Cavill. I heard there's issues with him at some point. A, was that true? And B,
well,
is that still an issue? Because I remember at one point he's like, "Sign me up forever."
Yeah, and no, he's committed to Geralt. If you heard issues, it was because of him and DC. I'm not sure if you watch any of the DC superhero movies, but they basically just dumped all their stars and they're trying to recast everything again.
Yeah,
which makes no sense because, I mean, obviously, he might be overhyped, but I think Henry Cavill is fantastic as Superman. I think he's fantastic as Geralt. He has the build and the look and the voice for it.
Yeah, initially when I never played the games or read the books, but when he was first casted, I thought he looked. I didn't think it matched up, but then when I watched, no, I'm serious. I thought it was a really bad wig, and I don't know. It just, to me, initially didn't add up. But after I watched it, yes, he's fucking ideal. It's awesome. It's one of the perfect castings you could have.
You need to look at a picture of the game version versus the real
life
version.
I have. But it's not that comparison. My comparison is more the presentation of how he looked initially. It just, I don't know. Maybe it's because I was so used to seeing him as Superman. I don't know, but. Yeah, it took me a minute. But it's good now. So
I will say he impressed me with his voice. There's a reason why he doesn't talk much in the show, because he has to try really hard to get that deep voice. No, seriously, if you hear his actual voice, it's not like Geralt's voice. He has to try really hard to get it that deep.
No, you're not wrong, but that's what an actor does, right?
Yeah, no, it's a lot of vocal trains, but I'm just saying, it's funny that it's so hard. That's why he has so little, lines in the show and more just actions.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. But let's go back to then season 3, because I don't think we ever got a chance to talk about this. Even just not, preparing for a fucking podcast, but I know once upon a time you're like, hey, we need to talk about that season 2 ending. And I don't think we ever did.
We did, but I think you forgot. But we can go back to it. No, we can go back to it because, one, it's got me hyped because in the games they kind of dropped into the second game and third game they picked it back up again.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like they're going off more of the books and they're showing more of the Wild Hunt. And the Wild Hunt to me is the most interesting part of The Witcher, only because I smell fire. No,
Oh, that's not good.
like I smell smoke.
Not during episode 1.
I don't know if that's outside or whatever. Oh, I'm gonna continue. If I see smoke, I'm gonna have to dip. But so the Wild Hunt, in my opinion, the reason why it's so interesting.
Guys, my house might be burning, but we're gonna continue this podcast because I gotta continue this podcast.
Well, so I sometimes I can't tell if something's burning or if it's
or you're having a stroke. I'm just playing.
Or if it's the place right next to me that makes sweets and all that stuff, and sometimes they have flower explosions. That smells really bad.
I know about the Nabisco factory. Or now it's, what is it, Mondelez?
Yeah,
We'll leave it as that. We're getting off topic.
Different name, same smell.
Let's go back to The Witcher.
So going back to Wild Hunt, why it's so interesting is that you've watched Lord of the Rings, right?
Yes.
So
I need to watch them again. Oh, well, we're not here to talk about that, but that show's on the horizon too. Soon. I think the trailer is supposed to be dropping soon as well.
From the concept I see, it looks great. But going back, so the reason why the Wild Hunt is so cool is because they remind me of the 7 human kings that got turned into Wraiths, or whatever they were called in Lord of the Rings. And the fact that they're just so menacing and terrifying is what makes them so cool. It's like they will hunt you until their objective is complete.
Okay. I obviously don't know any about that. I just know the show and that's it. So like my level of anticipation or excitement is, I mean, not that it's not existent, because I actually do enjoy the show for what it's worth, and being a fantasy, person of appreciation, like, I'm always looking forward to the next chapter and what it brings and presents. Back to the ending, because you kind of over that hump. This may be spoilers for anybody watching, and if it's a spoiler, you get 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and your time is gone. You could have muted me, but so with what is it? I was going to call her Cersei, but that's Game of Thrones.
Think of Apple Siri.
Siri, yeah, there you go. With the father returning, like, I don't want to say it was totally predictable, but like it was definitely shocking, and I don't know what to think. Like I mean, because I like, once again, I don't know nothing about the games, don't know nothing about the book, so it's like, okay, what's going on here? Like, what do I expect? And then I started doing a little research, and it's like, okay, so it's not part of this, it's part of that, not part of this, and well, that happens all too often, right, with TV shows, live action stuff. But so I don't know. Like, I'm obviously looking forward to it, but not for the same reasons you are. Like, I guess I'm more, the Wild Hunt thing is not as appealing to me as it is to you. Well, I'm just looking for that forward story development.
Well, also another reason why I like the Wild Hunt is because it's tied to Ciri, and she has a very I forgot what they call it. It's like elder blood or whatever. And so her blood is...
Isn't it just elf? Isn't it just elven?
Is it elven blood? I thought it was like elder blood. Like it's some kind of like very old, like ancient whatever race.
I the whole time I was hearing elven.
I could be wrong. I honestly can't remember. It's been a while since I watched it.
Because I mean, they have elves in the show. Wasn't that part of the war, right?
Yeah.
They tried to like kill them all off.
Yeah. She might be like an elder elf or whatever.
I think she's like half elf, half whatever.
But because she's a descendant of the pure line, her blood is special. Her blood is capable of making more witchers, and that's what makes her most valuable. And also the powers that are tied to her that you'll see in future seasons, and that's where her dad might come into play at some point, is introducing her to further powers.
So don't know if you spoiled something there, but you're suggesting he's a good guy then.
Well, he might bring in someone that might help her.
Oh, okay. So it's all a facade. They're setting it all up to make him like this evil dude, but basically he's just pretending to be an evil dude just to get her back, to then teach her even further to be a badass.
Well, picture this. Like, picture the dad is like a male version of Yennefer, where he comes in, he might not be totally good, but he's not totally bad, but he might bring other characters into the fold that might mix with other characters in certain ways to build them up.
Fair enough.
At least from what I remember. I could be wrong, but I remember that there's a character that gets introduced later on and helps get the witches back on track to being plentiful again.
Okay. Well, once again, just another thing to look forward to. So
This
talking about. Go ahead. Sorry.
This smoke's got me concerned. I don't know if it's inside or outside.
Do you want to make a quick jog through your house and?
I mean, I don't see smoke, so I'm good. I'm just gonna keep going.
As long as you don't see smoke, you're good.
Yeah.
All right. But since we're talking about live action, and TV shows, go ahead and segue that to what was it? When did it come out? Just last week, or was it 2 weeks ago? God, I'm losing track of time. That's what happens when you have COVID. Last week, right?
It's I don't know. Last week, 2 weeks.
You lost track of time.
Yeah, I'm watching.
We'll say it was last week, just for the sake of moving forward here. But I totally forgot about it. But was glad it came out because it gave me something to binge, and I don't really binge stuff anymore. But Resident Evil on Netflix. I'll let you start.
So
open, just fucking go with it. Thoughts?
I'll give first impressions without spoiling, and then after we get through the first.
Things maybe we should tell the audience to once again. If you need to mute us for any reason, because we're about to talk Resident Evil Netflix, so if you plan on watching it, you might want to mute us just for a little while.
Well, my first thing, there's no spoilers. It's gonna be completely.
Oh man, that's gonna be hard for me not to do.
Well, we could spoil it in a second, but I'm gonna say that.
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't like the show, but I like the concept of it. Like,
okay.
The characters that are introduced is a lot like Code Veronica, and that's the weird thing that these Resident Evil shows and movies have done, is that Alice from the movies and the two characters in here are basically representation of the Ashford twins, and I like how they brought them to play because I felt like the Ashford twins weren't utilized as much, and I'm glad to see some kind of representation in there, even if they're different names. But yeah, there's a lot of things I didn't like, but if they change the acting and change some of the cheesiness, I think it had the potential to be a good show because they didn't copy the games. They made their own continuous storyline after the games.
To piggyback that, and to keep it non-spoiler, I guess. I enjoyed it. I didn't really have a problem with the acting. Now, I know you didn't mention this right now, but off the podcast, you had mentioned of the girls pretty much being annoying, and yes, at times, yes, they were. They were like, bratty, whatever. But you have to remember, in context, these are fucking high school girls. So it's like, we're not girls, so we don't know how, they really, I mean, we know how they act, but you know what I'm saying? Like, not in that perspective. So, like, it didn't bother me as much.
Well, to your point, I will say that, obviously, any teenager is a little dramatic, can be over dramatic, but they weren't like, normal teens. They were like Disney overacting drama.
Disney, really?
Like, they were bad. In my opinion, they were extremely cringy. Like, it wasn't realistic to what real teenagers are like. They made all the dumb decisions. Like, real teenagers, they might do some, stupid things here and there, but they're not that dumb.
I still disagree with that. But anyways, it didn't bother me as much. So there's that. And honestly, in some capacity, if it did, as it bothered you, I think that's a credit to them because that's probably what they needed to do.
I feel like that's not what their characters are supposed to be, though. I think they're supposed to be more of a familiar connection and also a sense of sympathy with what they went through.
So you tell me, as this season progressed, you never felt sympathy?
No, I felt like they totally deserved everything they did because they created it. Like,
I mean, you're not wrong, but like, I mean, I never really felt sympathetic for them. So I guess if that was part of the goal, then yes, they did fail. But at some point, and maybe it's because, and not trying to go like off the rails here, but like, we all know Wesker. We know he's a bad guy. Although they're trying initially to kind of somewhat make him perceive like maybe he's not that bad without fully spoiling it. So in a nutshell, it's like, okay, it's hard to be sympathetic for children that we know is from a bad guy, right? That was my take on it. That was kind of the way I was perceiving it. Now, as it progressed, I still never felt really fully sympathetic, but as they started beefing with each other, I guess now we're getting into spoilers. Then you're kind of not forced to pick a side, but you're kind of like, okay, trying to understand one another. Like, why did this happen? Why did that happen? And that's part of the cliffhangers that they left in the show. It's like, damn, like I need eventually I don't even know if this show got greenlighted for season 2. I don't think it has yet. If I was looking correctly.
I didn't see them greenlight it, but the way it ended seems like there's gonna be a sequel or a second season.
The way yes, but I mean, it could go into conclusion there because technically, she got shot. So
okay, let's go into a spoiler section. Spoilers are about to happen because there's no way we can continue the rest of this without talking about what happens in the show.
But anyways, yeah, exactly. So going back to what you said, there's some things that they connected with the video games, which I liked. Let's go to cheesy parts because I agree with you. There were some cheesy parts
like
that were
dancing.
Yes, thank you. That was like when it happened. I sat there and I'm like, oh my fucking god, I can't believe that just happened. Like. And then the song choice, like, I mean, I guess they did it right. If they wanted you to cringe or whatever, they were successful. But I didn't care for that either. Like, I'm not saying the entire show had to be serious, but there's like a time and place for it, right? Like, I think if that happened somehow, maybe in the younger version of the storylines, right? Maybe it'd be a little bit more acceptable. I don't fucking know. But like, it was just bad timing. Very bad timing. Talk about song choices for a moment there. Except for that one, I kind of liked the song choices they had. Maybe the timing and the placement of some of them weren't ideal, but I thought dare I call it the score, because it's not really a score. They're actual songs. I thought they were chosen pretty well. I think they had too many, though. Let me say that one. There should have been fewer spots for actual music. Once again, I like the Easter eggs that they did, like the chainsaw guy, the potato head guy. I don't know his real name in the games, but they had shit like that.
Yeah, from RE4.
From RE4, exactly. I definitely appreciated that.
Did you catch the other Easter egg?
Oh, there's a bunch. You probably have to remind me, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that one.
My favorite Easter egg is it's during the chainsaw episode where they break free and that big guy, has a gun and he's doing some weird like stuff with the.
Dude, that scene was awesome, by the way.
You know what that's from, right? That's from Resident Evil 6 when Chris and
I don't think I played 6.
Chris and Leon did some like weird like gun control stuff, and basically him doing that is to that cutscene in Resident Evil 6.
I don't think I played 6, dude. I didn't play 6.
If you want to play, it's 2 players. It's on PS4. I'll play it with you. But there's a lot of like cheesy, like basically Final Fantasy type fighting, with they're just doing some weird gun stuff.
I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just saying, like, even though that part was cheesy, it was cheesy in a way that paid fan service to the games. Like, I like that part.
I thought it was cheesy because it went with the character, so therefore it worked.
I liked it for the Easter egg,
See, I wasn't aware of the Easter egg. If I was going to attribute it to anything, like my closest representation to that would be like Leon's like fucking God, what's those movies called? Like I can't think right now. But
the animated ones?
Huh?
Are you talking about the animated ones?
Yeah, the anime ones, but like the one where he's doing like all the crazy gun shit. Like that's what it reminded me of. But
well, that's exactly what it was.
Mirrored version of it, huh?
No, it was 100% a mirrored version of what happened when Leon and Chris were in a hallway fighting zombies. Like he perfectly replicated.
But you said from the game. I didn't play the game. I'm talking about from the animated or the CGI show.
Oh yeah, not from the movie, but from the game. It's like
it's
like a 1-to-1.
I'm referencing it from. Well, I mean, I know it's not a 1-to-1, but that's what it reminded me of. But either way, I actually enjoyed it. It put a smile on my face, though that long scene, because I wouldn't say I didn't fully expect for it to happen because I was like, okay, this guy's appearing to be a wimp the whole time. I'm like, he's gonna do something badass. Like even when they were trying to escape the cell, he was being a little bitch about it. And then it's like, no, something about to happen, and then he just busts. I'm like, okay, that was cool.
He was the one character I felt bad about when he got eaten. Like even though he was cheesy, I liked him.
I only liked him for that thing. Otherwise, he was very annoying.
Yeah, sometimes.
But let's see, what other good takeaways? The one episode where they predominantly had the girls get the clues was obviously a throwback to
Resident Evil 1.
Resident Evil 2, or yeah, just all of them to a certain
the
capacity.
first three, I guess, with the puzzles and all that. But yeah,
it was also cheesy, but it wasn't overly cheesy.
To me, I was like, they aren't even trying well to hide from whatever lasers that are potentially in the house. Like they're like jumping over couches, doing some weird crawl down the stairs. I thought they could have did better.
Once again, though, like I think you might be failing to put yourself in their shoes for a moment. Like
if I thought I was being spied on, I would have tried really hard not to get noticed.
Okay, but you have to understand, like, put yourself in the shoes. Like they have someone on a phone call telling them what to do, and if he's late on it and you have no expectation as to when to duck, when to do this, like those reactions are going to be extremely like offbeat and untimed. And I don't know, I thought it was, once again, maybe I'm defending it too much. I thought it was done well. I thought it was too long, though. I'll admit that. It was incredibly long, but I still appreciated the nod to the games with that kind of episode.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth. Kind of like Zelda, like back and forth, backtracking, getting that and moving forward. Yeah, I do. Exactly. I do agree with that point. Like I thought that was another nice Easter egg.
Yeah, and like even the smaller ones, like when they finally got to the basement that same episode, and they got the original Raccoon City footage. Oh, I wish there was more footage. I would have loved to see more footage because that was so good.
Not to segue off of this because I still want to talk about the Resident Evil show, but have you seen the movie Welcome to Raccoon City? It's a live action that just came out last year.
I have not seen that one yet.
So
I don't know if I ever will.
The thing is that whoever created the set pieces, like the town, the police department, nailed the look of it. It's 100% looks like the game. The downside is the actors sucked. Like
that's why I don't think I'll see it, because when the trailer dropped, I was like, I don't think I could watch this because of that reason, which sucks, because obviously I'm a fan of the series. Wouldn't say I'm a super fan, but I'm a fan of the series. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe one day I'll watch it, but I really don't anticipate I will. I need to still see one or two. Well, actually, more than one, two. Didn't they do a whole season of the CGI also on Netflix?
They, yeah, it was like 4 episodes called Into Darkness, Infinite Darkness, whatever.
Yeah, so I need to watch that as well. And I think there's one movie I haven't seen either.
If I were you, I would wait on Infinite Darkness, because Infinite Darkness either takes place before Resident Evil 6 or after Resident Evil 6.
Okay.
Because the show ties into the game.
I'm sure I could find like a somewhere online, like total breakdown of
like a chronological
timeline.
order.
Yeah.
But going back to the movie before you go back off of it.
Yes.
If they had better actors, it would have been the best Resident Evil movie. Because like I said, whoever designed like the sets, the way the dogs come out and all that stuff, it was exactly like the game in live action. It's just
it was
better.
Chef's kiss.
They just needed a better cast to make it great.
Yeah, I mean the guy that played Leon, like I hate to talk about that or go down that road, but like
he doesn't look and act like him.
You gotta do better.
Well, the thing is, oddly enough, did you play the original RE2 or did you play the remake?
No, I definitely played the original multiple times.
Okay, so in the original, which I don't know why they changed in the remake, but in the original Resident Evil, the reason why Leon was late to the police department wasn't because, he was just running late. He was drunk, and that's what happens in the movie, is he was drunk.
I don't know if I remember that. That's interesting.
Yeah, they actually changed that part in the remake where they show that he just got sidetracked or whatever. But in the original, he actually was late because he was drunk.
I don't know why I just don't remember that.
So that's the one part where they do play it true, where he was a drunk, but then his cowardness and all that stuff, it didn't work well. But the beginning part definitely paid respects to the original.
So, since you didn't like the acting in the movie and you're not a big fan of the acting in the TV show, I know we mostly talked about the girls, which but now I'm gonna segue to
Wesker.
Yes, to Wesker. What did you think about that guy?
So this is gonna be conflicting because I love Lance Reddick. His voice acting in multiple games and movies, and also just his work in general. I'm a fan. I don't like that they changed Albert Wesker's characteristics, but I do like Lance Reddick's version of it, especially when you see the clones and the original Albert Wesker, where he has like the superpowers like he has in the game, but he also kind of looked like Blade.
Yes. Thank you. I laughed so hard when they finally show him. Like,
I thought that was Wesley Snipes at first.
I know,
was
right? Like it was like, did they get Wesley Snipes for this? What the fuck? That was hilarious. But back to that scene, and then obviously thereafter. I mean, I think that just we're critiquing the other actors, but I think that's what made him so good because he actually acted totally different personas.
Oh yeah, he nailed it.
No, he didn't have. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was saying, like, I mean, the real Wesker, the original Wesker, for that matter. I mean, he didn't really spend a lot of time in that role, but nevertheless, whatever, executed it. But just the whole other clone where he was like totally a goofball. I thought he did really, really well. It was really good. So,
and that's another Easter egg, which if you haven't played the games, you might have missed. But in the show, they said the original Wesker died in 2009.
Volcano, but yes. that wasn't 6 though. That I thought
that was 5.
Okay, yeah. So no, that I knew. Which exactly, I appreciated that too. I was like, oh shit, they dropped the canon. See, and then we didn't really talk about this either. And I'm like all over the place. A little bit discussing like the I don't know if this is a real word, like, well, we'll just say canon, but I don't know if there's a better word to use. They kind of they didn't force it to be canon, but like they definitely wanted a seat, right? They want to be like, hey, look, hey, maybe Capcom might say this is real. I mean, I know you off the podcast you suggested that Capcom doesn't endorse it, but
yeah, if it's not from their animation studio, it's not considered canon. Like Infinite Darkness that was on Netflix is actually considered canon because it's from the Capcom studio. But
all this really takes place. Well, if it were to be canon, right?
Like 20 years, right?
Yeah, it takes place after everything. So if we want to live in a fantasy world, we could pretend. But I already know I don't think it's a huge kind of surgence, but like I know there's some people already calling for like a Jade game or something, but I don't think it probably would ever come to fruition.
I hope not. She's awful.
Well, I mean, it's different if you turn it into a game, right? I mean,
if you really want a Jade game that's better, play Resident Evil 7 and 8 because you get what's his name? I forgot
his name.
Dude, I forgot what his name is.
I never played him, but
Ethan Winters, I think that's his name.
Yeah, I was gonna say something Winter, but yeah, Ethan. Yeah,
Ethan. Yeah. I think that they should have made Ethan a character in this game because, like, in my opinion, even though RE7 and 8 doesn't like tie in directly, it's enough into the future where it gives you all the connections you need with like Chris and all the Umbrella after the fact. And that's what I liked about this show is that it gave you a potential storyline in the future. It's just the characters suck.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say all that. I'm not gonna say all that. I will just to wrap this conversation on. We could go fucking probably hours still on this, in my opinion. But just to kind of put a bow on it, if if it gets greenlit? Do you have any bold predictions?
Yes, only
'Cause I have
because
one, and I'm not going to say it's a hot take, but I got one, so I want to hear yours first.
if they do greenlight it, like I said, the Wesker siblings, the sisters, are 100% basically a version of the Ashford twins. So Jade is also mutated, just like Billy is. So she'll come back. That bullet wound isn't gonna stop her. She's probably gonna get powers, kind of like Albert Wesker, and Billy might. It'll be like basically two like T-virus monster tyrants going at each other, but in human form. And obviously, revenge of getting the daughter back and all that stuff.
I like it. I'm not gonna dispute that. My hot take or my prediction is I wonder if they, whether it happens on a season 2, if they go even get it, or a future season, I would not be surprised if Ada Wong is Billy's mom. And that is my prediction. Next topic.
I would like to see that. Only because I'm a fan of Ada Wong, and I don't care if she's in a horrible show like that, but if she's in there, I'll be okay.
You don't care.
So, out of all those things that we watch, you know, like from The Witcher to Resident Evil and all that stuff, what has been the best live action adaptation from games or like, well, obviously you don't watch anime, but from games? Like, what movie or show has done it right? Obviously, Witcher can be in a top tier because it's pretty good, but I would say it's more adaptation from the books.
Well, Witcher, I'm sure for some people it may be the choice. I can't formulate that opinion because I never played the games, right? So I can't make that connection. I haven't put a lot of thought into this. And I know I'm probably going to botch this answer. But you said or movie, right?
Yeah, it could be a show or movie, like the best live action version of a game. And it doesn't have to just be one. Like, I already have like a list of like 7.
No, I know, but like I like to tier things. This, I don't know if this come off as a surprise, but it may, and it is just off the top of my head, and plus I'm staring at it right now. But I really thoroughly enjoyed it.
The Warcraft movie?
No, because I knew you would think I would say that, and no, I actually really enjoyed Detective Pikachu.
That was good.
I loved the writing. It was, you want to talk about cheesy, whatever, but like, I'll be honest, I teared up.
Well, with the dad?
I'm fucking being honest. Yes, I did. Call me a sap. I don't fucking care. That reveal made me tear up.
I mean, it was, I'll admit it's touching.
Stupid, but it made me tear up. So I really enjoyed it. And honestly, I think the reason why I enjoy it so much more is because I'm not a Ryan Reynolds fan.
You're not?
I'm not saying I hate the guy. He reminds me too much of like Dane Cook, and I never liked Dane Cook, and like I don't know.
I feel like he's a more mild version of Dane Cook, but I will agree with you.
Okay, so I'm not saying I hate him. Extremely talented, good looking, whatever. Just not a big fan. So that's a negative thing for that movie. 1, 2. When the trailer first dropped, I was really on the fence. I was like, this is probably gonna fucking suck. But as you know, I'm a very hardcore Pokemon fan.
Yeah, we went to go see the movie together.
So with that, it surprised me, and I enjoyed it a lot. Especially like even just like earlier when we were talking about Resident Evil and the homage that it plays to the games, like even the movie, right? The Mewtwo sequence and everything like that. It was very homage to the original first movie and stuff. So like there's a lot of good things there, and I liked the Pokemon. So
yeah, I was
and
surprised.
Unfortunately, I'll never get a sequel of that because they already said we won't get one. So
well, yeah, it's supposed to be a one-off, kind of like the game.
Yeah, which is fine. I'm totally cool with that. So
I was actually like once again, I'm I've always been skeptical of live action because there's only been a few that have been good, but
Hmm.
Detective Pikachu is definitely on the list. And the fact that they made Pokemon look realistic but not creepy was impressive. Like Mr. Mime, he terrifies me, but I thought he was fantastic in the movie because of the funniness of, obviously,
Hmm.
Pikachu and them. But
Hmm.
I thought that was
I
good.
mean, I mean, you could argue that like Charizard was a little terrifying, but
Oh,
like,
Charizard was, but Magikarp though stole the
but
show with Gyarados.
but he was not like terrifying in the oh my god they fucked up Charizard way. He was terrifying like holy shit he's kind of badass.
He might eat you.
He'd probably fuck you up. So yeah, that one really. I'm not saying it's my number one, but off the top of my head, without giving myself a headache, I really did like that one.
Okay. So I guess I can go into my list because I'm a
Yeah,
huge
and
movie.
I'll probably just piggyback off yours because you'll probably rekindle my memory for some things.
Yeah, because
But I
like
know you're big into anime, so
I'm big into anime games. I watch a lot of movies too and shows, but there's only like 7 or 8 that I can remember. One you might know is Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
never saw it.
You never saw it? Well,
Never.
it, I'm not gonna say it's for everybody, but with the humor and the whimsicalness of the games, it transferred well into the movie. And I thought what's his name, Michael Cera Scott. Um,
Just Michael, sorry. And if I may just quickly interrupt you, that's exactly why I haven't, because that's like another Ryan Reynolds to me.
oh, you don't, dude. I love him from Superbad. That's why I watched it.
And I like Superbad, but go ahead, continue. I don't want to take
No, that's fine. But yeah, Scott Pilgrim I thought was a really good take. I know this one might be somewhat controversial and debatable for some people, but I thought Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson was a really good version of the anime. I know people were like they hated it because of whitewashing, whatever. But one, Scarlett Johansson played it well because the general in the show is very emotionless. She's just straight to the task, get things done, and all the other characters, the side characters, were well represented. Also, the theme of the world was just spot on to what the anime was. So I would say that's a top tier. My number one though is Speed Racer.
I haven't seen it, but I wouldn't mind watching it. So
So I watched the original Speed Racer, like the cartoon. The
I've seen the
cartoon.
cartoon. Hmm.
Same thing with like Astro Boy, but the movie, man, like it does a good job with just being crazy fast, but has like a story that makes sense. And I thought that was great. What's another one? Oh, there was one more. Alita Battle Angel. That's another one.
Was that an anime?
It is an anime.
I don't know.
But Alita Battle Angel is like Speed Racer. It's a very old anime, but it got adapted well into live action, and I think the only reason why is because James Cameron was originally the person that made the script,
Mm.
and he used the same technology from Avatar to make Alita Battle Angel, but because James Cameron was still working Avatar, he pawned the script off to what's his name, Robert Rodriguez. So they both basically made the script together, and I thought it was a excellent representation of the story. I thought the pacing was well, and I thought the like acting and scenes were all like identical to what the anime would have been.
I want to follow up with a couple like bonus questions on the same topic though. I'm not a fan of the series because I've never watched it. I'm pretty sure you are, but debunk or confirm this for me. Are they doing a live action of Dragon Ball?
They've done one, and it was awful. I hope
Another
that they
one?
never. So I don't know if they're doing another one, but I know 2007, 2008, whatever. They made a movie called Dragon Ball Evolution, and that is the worst live action adaptation of anything I've ever seen in my life. It was terrible from casting to just everything. But
Fair
I
enough.
don't know if
Fair
there's
enough.
gonna be another one.
Okay. And then next part of not that question, but same topic. Um, what video game or anime would you like to see adapted?
So this is going back to Henry Cavill. I would love to see a Berserk live action adaptation, and I think Henry Cavill could play a good Guts. If you see the character Guts, it's
You'll
basic.
have to, you'll have to show me.
Yeah, it's like he's very brawlic. He's also kind of like to himself. He gets things done, but he also gets dragged into a lot of awful things. Like, obviously, I can go on and tell you the whole story, but it would take too long. But it's a very dark story, and I think Henry Cavill could play a good Guts.
Okay, fair enough. My answer to that is may come as no surprise, but and there's been rumors circulating in the past, but I would love Wet Dreams, but it would have to be done right. I have no actors involved, but please, God, one day give me a Legend of Zelda live action. Just give it to me. Find a way to do it.
Okay, so if there was a live version of Zelda, who would you play as Zelda and who would you play as Link as casting?
I just told you I don't know. I don't know. I
'Cause
really don't.
It's hard to picture somebody playing those two characters. Like, I mean,
I think it's harder to picture a Link versus a Zelda, in my opinion. I mean, segueing a little bit back to like Game of Thrones and look at like all the different Targaryen women, like Daenerys and whatever. Like, picture her as Zelda. I mean,
Emily Clark, yeah, she could be a good Zelda.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I'm saying this might come off as awful, but I think that cast could be a dime a dozen.
And Kit Harington could be Link.
No, please, God, no. No, I mean, way back in the day, like, people would say somebody, I can't think of the actor's name, but the guy that played Legolas in Lord of the Rings would be a fantastic adult Link.
Are you talking about Orlando Bloom?
Yes, Orlando Bloom, thank you.
I can see that. He has like a very thin face for that.
Yeah, but like, I mean, once again, I'm not gonna sit and talk about what kind of show I'd want to see or whatever, but or what it would, which game would you put it against? I mean, Zelda. I mean, it has a very good, or no, I shouldn't say good story, but it has its stories.
It has 3 stories.
Yeah, but like, to actually pick which one you would like, put a live action with. I mean, I think most people would probably say it would have to be the Ocarina of Time version.
Oh, Ocarina, not Calamity?
I would think so. I mean, actually, Calamity would be from Breath of the Wild. Calamity would probably be really good because you got that big type of warfare going.
Well, not only that, but you got the Hyrule story before the Calamity happened too, which was honestly pretty good story-wise. Seeing the spirits and all them.
And Hyrule Warriors did a pretty good job with further telling that story as well. But yeah, I don't have those answers. I would just love to see it someday. That's all. Like, just like I'm getting my FF7 remake. Like, give me my Legend of Zelda live action. But of course, don't fuck it up.
I'm surprised you didn't say World of Warcraft because I would love to see a second World of Warcraft. I thought they did a good job with the first one.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I would love to. And actually, I don't really want to go off topic. There is a notorious streamer that tweeted allegedly before the pandemic that there is actually or was something in the works.
I would love to see them go through Warcraft 1
through 3. The pandemic halted it, and I guess right now it's so secret that they don't really know if it's been picked back up yet. Just total rumors. So I think a lot of people would love to see.
At least the trilogy done.
Well, not only that, but I think I think a lot of people want like The Witcher, right? Like what we got for The Witcher. They want to see a TV show. They want to see the rise and fall of Arthas. As for those that watch Josh and not me, I'm a huge World of Warcraft guy, so I find it's very hard to do a live action of anything that's currently going on in the game. You have to do the past stuff.
Yeah, World of Warcraft, you can't do.
And you get to a timestamp and it's done. You don't even try it. Just don't fucking try it. Unless it's going to be total CGI. Then you go ahead and try it. But yeah.
I'm sorry, continue and then I'll say what I think.
No, I was just going to wrap it up and just say, no, I thoroughly did enjoy the movie. How couldn't I? But I'm the fanboy, so I feel like times like that, my opinion doesn't matter.
Oh, dude, I thought it was great too. I loved it.
I kind of wish it was longer. And I'm not just saying that because I wanted more live World of Warcraft, but no, like it needed to be longer because
like a trilogy.
It was too short. Well, no, not just a trilogy part. I'm just saying the movie in general should have been longer.
Wasn't it like two
But
and a
I
half
think
hours?
should have been fucking 4.5 hours.
I agree.
No,
I would watch it for
but
like 6 hours.
but like there was obvious like points where you knew it got cut due to money.
Oh yeah, dude. The amount of like CG animation, like it rivaled that of like Godzilla. Like Legendary
Fuck,
Pictures
that was
does fantastic job with their
that's
CG.
true. For sure, for sure. So that's my bow. Your turn.
Um. So to I guess to end this, as much as it might be really hard to do like a World of Warcraft storyline, they can kind of do it in three ways. One, they would have to like go through a timeline order of like what's Enduin's father's name? Valyrian?
Win.
Yeah. They could do him and then
Oh
Thrall
no,
and
that's his
Garrosh.
last name. What am I talking about? I'm sorry. Go ahead, continue.
They could do him, Thrall and Garrosh as like, for the first three expansions leading and then reintroduce Khadgar and the Legion and all that stuff. And then as they continue, Enduin and Thrall become the main characters going forward, showing the Horde with Sylvanas and then I forgot what the troll people are, what their name is. But they can still kind of make the characters because like even though in World of Warcraft we're the main characters, you still see the old main characters following us throughout, and I feel like we could still center the story around them.
I don't know. Okay, so to piggyback on what you think could work, what let's just talk about expansion for that much. Like what expansion you think they could put their storyline with?
Oh, they could do all of them. They could tie it in easily.
No,
So
no.
here, this is how branching story arcs work. They've done it with other shows. So Enduin's father and Thrall are obviously the two that they would follow, and you would see the Horde and Alliance clashing, and then eventually making peace. That's what the first expansion is, the World of Warcraft vanilla. Then eventually Khadgar comes out of his mage tower in Karazhan or whatever, and it says, "Oh, look at a Draenor came back. There's a portal. The Dark Portal's returned, and they introduce the Legion. They go to Outland, and then after Outland comes by, Gul'dan. We'll just skip ahead and go to Warlords of Draenor, and then Gul'dan will try to do his like little resurrection thing, and then when that happens, and when they finally beat Gul'dan, they'll go back to the Dark Portal, and that's when Wrath of the Lich King happens, where Arthas returns and says, "I'm here to bring." Death to all, and then you'll see Khadgar.
I'm here to bring death to all.
You see Khadgar. What's his name? Enduin's dad and Surafang come together to fight Arthas, and then after Arthas falls, then you'll see Sylvanas take over, and then Enduin's
So,
dad die.
so everything you're presenting, I can't argue it could work, but in my opinion, I don't think that would be the most successful approach to utilize the Warcraft universe in a live action. I still firmly believe that. I mean, whatever we may get, if they do want to finish the Thrall storyline that they started, that's fine. That'll work. But if they were to do a TV show or a different trilogy, I think the rise and fall of Arthas Menethil would be the route to go. I mean, just picture this for a second. Like the whole culling of Strathholm, that whole thing for people that don't know Warcraft
That was pretty dark.
could rival the likes of the Red Wedding.
No, it'd be even bigger than that, like the fall of
Well,
King's Landing, or
okay,
the Longest Night.
that kind of goes to my point. Like it's huge.
Like he brought obliteration to a whole town
A
that
whole
is like
fucking-
Stormwind
I mean,
level.
that's not even. Yeah, I was gonna say that's not even a town. That's like a fucking
City.
Like like city exactly. So like parts of story of his story arc like that in a live action format would be like fucking jaw dropping. Would be, if executed properly, fucking fantastic.
I agree.
I mean, I think and it's not the shit on a lot of the other story arcs for characters, but his is by far one of the best. I think that's why he's so notorious. Got the fucking sword on my wall. Is because like it's a fucking great story.
Yes,
And a lot of people tend to gravitate towards the villains. Right?
Arthur's definitely one of the best villains. But if you're gonna put him there, you have to put Garrosh and Illidan up there too.
I would put Gul'dan second.
Gul'dan, really? Well,
Yeah.
I guess let's replace Garrosh with Gul'dan, because really Garrosh was just a little boy that was mad.
Garrosh to me, I mean, a lot of people obviously do like him, but like he
was a whiny baby.
wasn't that too, but no, he was like his range of like destruction, I guess, wasn't as vast as the others.
Yeah.
So to me, that's why he's not up there.
And also, he wasn't. No offense to him, like obviously after Mr. Pandaria and all the weird stuff he did, realistically, plot wise, he should never have been able to figure out anything he did. Like he's never been known as a strategist or being smart.
I was just about to say that. I mean, well, not in that exact term, but like, yeah, I mean, this doesn't happen to a lot of dumb people. Like, why is he in that position? He's fucking stupid.
Like, if you think of Garrosh, you think of like a berserker warrior type that just wants to fight wars.
And that's exactly what he was. So I guess he played his role good then.
Yeah, but somehow he figured out time travel.
Well, I mean, I don't think it was all his brainchild either, because he also did have an old god whispering in his head.
True. Wait, which old god was that?
Yasharj?
Oh yeah, yeah, and then whatever the Shah of Anger was as well.
Yeah, so that's where that was probably coming from. So,
true.
What do you want to move on to next?
So I guess, well, I was actually gonna segue, but then World of Warcraft came over and I just had to talk about it. But going from Zelda, do you think they're gonna make a Switch Pro?
First off, these rumors have been circulating for God knows how long. What is the Switch Pro even supposed to be? I don't even know anymore.
So I can tell you my opinion. I don't think they're going to. I think they're afraid of Steam Deck. And the only reason why is I'm not sure if you've done any research on Steam Deck, but Steam Deck is
a little bit.
Is the ultimate handheld console. Like it can support most modern games at stable 1080, 60 FPS. But also it's an emulation machine. So it means it can handle a lot of old games too, like old SNES games, Genesis games, whatever. Okay. You can port those games over. So it's basically the ultimate system in your hand. And
with those emulators and such, couldn't Nintendo sue them?
I don't think they own the rights anymore.
I mean, not on everything, but I'm sure there's some they do.
Those probably aren't the ones that being. I mean, if they were to sue anybody, it wouldn't be Steam. It would be the ones that pirate the game. Because
they are not going to go after the little people. Come on, stop.
Don't you?
Okay.
No, Pokemon is the best example. Pokemon is best.
They do go after some little people.
All the little people.
But they don't go after all
Look at the content on YouTube. You have to have a special Nintendo Ambassador certification in order to post most Nintendo.
Wait, did you call it a Nintendo Bastard certification?
Ambassador. That's exactly what it is. They have a Nintendo Ambassador. You have to get permission to post their stuff.
So let's go back into being scared, and then you started spitting out all the different high tech that it's able to do. That's fun and dandy. High tech is nice. We all love it. Nintendo doesn't give a flying fuck about what 1080 4K 8KP their device is going to project.
Yeah, because they know they can scam people and milk them for everything they got for an old system.
Which I'll admit the fan base is done for that. But but what I'm trying to say is they don't give a fuck about that shit. They never gave a fuck about that shit. That's what makes them successful.
Well,
and they will continue to be successful.
As much as I would have agreed, they didn't feel threatened because the only other competitor handheld wise was the PSP. and unfortunately, Sony is the one that butchered the PSP. But overall, Nintendo's been the only handheld from Game Boy,
Oh,
DS, and all the way up until the Switch. But
I'm
Steam
not.
Deck is the game changer.
I'm not the most up to date on this knowledge, but correct me if I'm wrong. But isn't this Steam's second chance at a handheld? So technically, they've already failed before.
I don't think they've had.
You sure about that? You might want to double check that.
I know they had the Steam
thought
Link, but that was basically like a way to play console games. Well, it's basically a way to. It's like a little device that connects to your TV that you can play with a controller. They basically want to make a console away from your PC, and it worked, but there was a lot of transferred things. But I don't think they made a handheld. I think this is their first take on it
As a true handheld. Okay.
as a true handheld.
Once again, I'm not trying. I don't know for fact, but that's why I said, correct me if I'm wrong, because I thought they tried their hand in the market at
Because
least,
I
right?
have I have the Steam Link, and that was successful for a while, but then it got really outdated.
So let's go back to initial thing. I don't know. I really don't know. I hopefully they have to release something here soon though. It's about that time. Like whether it's the next gen of a Switch or what have you, like it has to be on the horizon. Like okay, what really shocked me was the last couple generation consoles. First launch game wasn't Mario anymore. It's been Zelda. So Breath of the Wild 2 has been not on the shelf, it's been in the works, but it's been in the works for a while. So if a Pro is to happen, I'm going to go and guess it's probably going to happen and launch the same time Breath of the Wild 2 does. And they're going to come in a package in all its glory and whatever. I don't know what to expect from Nintendo. I thoroughly love the Switch and what it's capable of and what it's done and what it's. I mean, I don't think you get a Steam Deck if it wasn't for the Switch.
I would half agree with that. Yes, Nintendo was a huge inspiration, but so was
Nintendo's always an inspiration.
but so was the PSP Go. Like I don't think you realize the PlayStation Portable, the second version of PSP, the Vita was way ahead of its time, and I don't know why Sony stopped supporting it. Like it was really, really good.
I mean, for that exact reason, I think sometimes something could be fucking really good, but if it's ahead of its time, it's ahead of its time. I mean, you can't resolve that.
So here, this is why you should actually be on my side for this. Okay. So let's separate the Nintendo games and the system, because as much as I like to say Nintendo milks things, there's no denying that they are very smart with their IPs. They know how to reuse the same IP but still make it fresh and entertaining. That there's no doubt about that. Like Zelda, Mario, like Odyssey is like the best example that they can have a 30-year long franchise that still make it fresh.
I still haven't played the new Kirby, and it's still fucking shrink wrap, but I heard a lot of good things about that game as well.
Yeah, so like game developing side, like no one can knock on them because they know how to make their own games fresh. But I want to see the Nintendo Switch not be so outdated, because like let's be honest, even when the Nintendo Switch was released, it could have been better, and I would love to see like Breath of the Wild 2 running at smoother frames handheld and be more stable instead of having like these weird little jitters when you're walking across the land.
So we're gonna probably really get off topic now, aren't we? Once again, and we're not gonna try to make this a huge debate.
Oh, I'm going to fight you to the death on this one.
I know you want to. I'm the one with swords, motherfucker.
But can't you agree that you want your games to perform as best as they possibly can?
Do I agree that I want to see it in Unreal, whatever fucking version engine they're on, and its best capability? Yes, but that is not the all-encompassing thing as to why I play a video game.
No, you want to play it because it's stable, and it doesn't lag every 5 seconds.
Was it not? No, it doesn't. It doesn't that for me.
Breath of the Wild, it didn't lag when you're going across the field.
No.
Your eyes must be delayed.
They must be, but that's probably a good delay then. No, it doesn't. Like, okay, and let's take that component out of it for a moment. the graphics and all that shit don't. I mean, it's all in the eye of the beholder. If that's all you're looking for, kudos to you. Not going to rip you for what you want to look in a video game. I'm just saying for me, and there's probably a lot. And no, I'm going to lay it down like this. Factual. It is not what everybody as a gamer really necessarily needs nowadays. You look at fucking Minecraft. Holy shit, what is that? Like 2 pixels?
No,
I don't fucking know.
no. Minecraft, it looks 8-bit, like with the pixelation,
But it's a 3D world. I understand that.
no, but the frame stability is smooth. Like when you look at the game, it's a smooth, solid game. There's no jittering, there's no lagging. The art style might be pixelated, but the performance is stable. And that's, I think, what you and I are not connecting on is the art style is not performance.
But okay, so maybe I am blind. Maybe I gotta go back and replay it, and then I'll be like, it'll be in the back of my mind, like, oh, that's what he's talking about. I'm just saying, right now in the present, I don't think I've ever had a performance issue with my Switch.
Well, you've also only played first-party Nintendo games. You haven't played third-party games. I can
No,
tell
I
you
haven't.
right now, play Wolfenstein: The New Order, a very
I'm not
old.
going to play Wolfenstein.
No, I'm saying, like, if you want to see how unoptimized the Switch is, play third-party games.
But let me tell you this: as a gamer, I pick and choose what platforms I want to play my games on.
This is true.
If I'm not going to play a Modern Warfare game on the fucking Switch. Yeah, it's available on the Switch, but I'm not going to fucking play it on the Switch.
I think
I want to play that. Now you're going to love probably hearing this. I want to play that game with the performance on a PS5.
But that's what I'm obviously you're right. People can pick and choose their system. But I'm saying, wouldn't you want the Switch to perform the best that it can possibly perform?
Yes.
Okay, that's the point. Like
But
they've been
it's not bothering me, is what I'm saying. And apparently, it's not bothering millions of other people because it's the fucking hottest selling damn console.
Yes, I agree. It's a very it's a very popular selling console, but there's a lot of critique about how their software is very outdated even when it launched. Like even though people love it and people still play because obviously, like I said, people bought the Switch for the Nintendo Party games, and there's no denying that the Nintendo Party games are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean the Switch is a good performing console.
Oh, it's not a good performing console. It's a great performing console.
Oh my god. You got me on that one. I was about to say thank you for finally coming to your senses.
Gotcha.
But yeah, obviously, like you said, we don't want to have a long debate. I'm not trying to hate on Nintendo. Like, I want Nintendo to perform because, like I said, I love their games. I just want their consoles to perform as best as they can, and I feel like they don't care enough about their console, having performance stability compared to just pushing out games and software.
This might be a bad defense, but you know me, devil's advocate and all that stuff. We're just a devil. Generally speaking, their consoles are always, dare I say, ahead of the curve.
Sometimes.
Does that have any impact with those performances? Because you said at the start of even when it released, which, well, like I said, I've never felt that as an issue for me. So, but just to take your side for this, if that is true, don't you think then that has a lot to do with them being ahead of the other two major companies when they released their consoles?
Yes.
As far as processors are concerned and all that stuff.
So, for the majority of Nintendo's time, they have been, they've always been a step ahead. They've always designed, whatever the next thing is. Like, for example, the GameCube was fantastic. The performance it did was amazing for its time. But Nintendo Switch came out after many years after the PS Vita, and the PS Vita still outperformed the Switch in multiple areas. And that was like a 7-year-old system before a Switch.
Okay.
And
I got none.
And like
I didn't have a Vita, but I mean, right now I got none.
And like, for example, like if you want to look at handhelds, look at the Game Boy, the DS, and all that stuff. Those handhelds were fantastic performing systems. Like the DS, what it can render with its limited size was still amazing. But for some reason, with the Wii U and the Switch, they cut something somewhere to make it perform less. Like every other system was fantastic. It was always, like you said, ahead of the curve. But for some reason, the last two systems they made, has been under.
Okay. Tomato, tomato.
I can see you're like, you might have a point on this, but you don't want to admit
No,
it.
no. I mean, I could continue to argue with you. No, I'm just saying your pet peeve is performance. Mine is not. If I'm going to have a pet peeve with Nintendo in this current day of age, but we already talked about the
It's a
milking
horrible
situation.
online.
Yes. No, exactly. Is the online portion. Like, fucking figure that shit out and fix it. That's one. Two, still not a deal breaker for me, but God, would I love fucking achievements or trophy system for Nintendo. Like, you have the Nintendo accounts. Fucking make it happen, man. Like, just, like, give it to us. Those are my two things. The performance, yes, I'm going to agree with you. Would I like the ultimate whatever performance that they could possibly give us? Yes, but it's not my number one and my number two.
Well, the online is bad. Like, I stopped playing Smash Bros. Because
No, online is
so
horrible. Online is horrendous. You will not get a debate from me on that one, sir. It is horrendous.
Especially with the price.
Now, you want to talk about performance and lag? Yes, when I'm online, I experience that wholeheartedly, but that's not due to the system. That's due to their servers.
Actually, that is due to the system as
well.
But
next topic, please.
But I'm only saying the system because they got cheated out by, I think it was NVIDIA. NVIDIA sold them a crappy chip. That's why. I could be wrong on that, but I know the Switch was actually sold with a crappy chip at some point.
No, that's why I think I knew that to a certain degree. And that's why I brought up the whole being ahead of the curve situation, because at the time they're manufacturing their consoles, they're only able to equip whatever fucking contracted chip they're able to get at that point, right? Yeah. So it's like, if that's whether it's the hottest thing on the market or whether it's the most economically thing on the market, that's what they're going to use, right? So it's like, you look at look at the PS5 right now. I mean, I don't have one. I want to get one soon, but like, they can't keep up with manufacturing because of fucking chips, right? And motherboards. I don't know what the exact situation is with supply chain and regarding the manufacturing that system, but there's issues. So it's like, if Nintendo's like, you know what, we know we need to have hypothetically 4 million of these consoles and units created, we probably have to go economically and get this chip. Now, to your point, they're probably sacrificing performance, but they're making sure the consumer is going to have access to their product.
I would agree with that if they didn't make the LED switch. But going back, because like I said, we could argue about this all the time.
Uh-huh.
We've had this conversation before, because I too would love to see a trophy system implemented in the Switch games. How would you do it? Would you do the Mario Star system? Would you do a rupee system? How would you implement it?
I mean, Mario's obviously the mascot, so I like the idea of a star system. Sure.
What were they called in Galaxy? Loomies? Is that what they're called?
That's I never played that. Actually, of all the Mario games, those are the ones I skipped. Was Galaxy.
You even have the 3D collection. I'm surprised you haven't played Galaxy.
I haven't. I popped in for regular Mario 64 for a little bit, and I 100% original 64, 100% Sunshine. Never touched Galaxy, and I didn't even get a chance 100% Odyssey, and I loved Odyssey.
Odyssey is a very tough one, but I'm proud to say that I've completed Odyssey.
I would 100% it if, and this goes also with Breath of the Wild, if they had a trophy system.
I will say that the jump rope in Odyssey was horrible.
Oh, yeah. Isn't there another one where they have the volleyball one? You bounce it back.
The volleyball wasn't bad if you had a Pro Controller. The Pro Controller made it much easier.
Yeah, so basically you said you cheated. So.
But no, the jump rope, there's no cheat. I mean, there was a cheat at some point, but they patched it. But yeah. So if we're doing the Mario system, how would you do it? Gold Star being like 100%, and then how would you?
Well, yeah, I don't think you could do the star because you're right. Because then they have like bronze, silver, gold, platinum.
Well, if I'm getting the name right, Galaxy 1 and 2 had different colored stars. They had like a blue, a red, a green, and then a gold.
Yeah, but I don't think you'd want to model it all after like just that one franchise.
Odyssey would be the best example. You could do like for like a bronze trophy, it'd be like half a moon, or like a quarter of the moon. Silver would be half a moon, and then whatever the gold is would be a full moon.
I don't think you'd want to do it like that either. I don't know, man. I'd have to think about that one. I don't have an answer.
It's funny because I've had this conversation with other people, and we've always said that we want a system, but we don't know how to implement that system.
Yeah.
Because I hate being the kind of person that complains without giving actual criticism to prove.
So maybe to help my creative juices flow, what does because I don't own an Xbox. What does Xbox or what does Microsoft do?
So Xbox, in my opinion, well, I like the Platinum and PlayStation, but Xbox is smart. Every game has 1,000 gamer score, and obviously depending on the achievement, the gamer score varies. But every game is set at 1,000 max.
But what icons do they use?
It's just a
If any. It's just a score.
Yeah, it's just a score. Sometimes they might have like a diamond pop up depending on like how rare the achievement is, but it's mostly just a score you're focusing on.
Knowing Nintendo, although this would be extremely more, how can I put it? I don't even know the word I'm looking for. But if you had it customizable to every game, every IP, that would be the more ideal way of doing it.
That'd be very difficult to manage.
That'd be very difficult, but
I'd make my Pokemon badges.
But like Zelda, for example, you could use the rupees, right? You have green, blue, red, and then yellow for platinum. I mean, super simplistic. Mario, I still don't know what you would do. You know, maybe like mushroom, flower, Starman. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yoshi's the platinum.
What?
Yoshi's the platinum.
Yeah, Yoshi's the platinum. I don't know, but yeah, you're right. Like every game, it would be so much harder. And for like, you know, Donkey Kong, it's like one banana, half a bundle of bananas full. You know, like I don't fucking know.
But then the value would be obsolete then because every system would have a different value if they did it that way. Like I'm not dissing. Like that would be really cool to have like themed trophies or achievements, but the practicality of it and implementing it is very really difficult. Hard. Like the value would be all screwed.
Exactly. I mean, I think the simplistic, obvious approach is, you know, just fucking create trophies. That's all. Just trophies.
Or just add a number and have 1,000 gamer score. Keep it simple. You can call them coins.
Either way, achievements as a whole.
I got
Nintendo needs to happen. What's up? What you got?
They have the gamer score system, but it's Mario coins. Like,
I mean, you can
5 coins for like the bare minimum one, 25 for like medium tier, 100 for like the top tier, and all games will have 1,000 coins. And eventually, the more you stack it up, the coins will get higher and higher. It's like their version of achievements.
I mean, I don't even like their to be honest, I don't even like their online version of it because they only have gold coins and platinum coins. I don't know if you've been on it, but
I guess there's the trophy system with the coins then.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's settled. They already have it, and we're over here trying to fucking recreate the wheel. So yeah, Nintendo Switch Pro. I don't know, man. If it's going to happen, it's going to come with Breath of the Wild 2, in my opinion. They'll have some sort of bundle going,
or Metroid Prime 4.
Dude, I don't even know if we're getting a Metroid Prime. Like when Dread got released, everybody thought that was going to be Prime, and it turned out to be Dread. Now, I liked Dread, but it's a fucking 2-hour game. Maybe even 90-minute game. I don't know.
I think they're cooking Prime 4 for
I think the reason why... I mean, I think Prime 4 could happen, but here's why I don't think it's going to happen. Because Nintendo tried, although I would argue they didn't try hard enough. I think they really tried to get Prime 4 set up for their VR version, and it's not working, and that's why we're not going to see it. That's my opinion.
I mean, it's possible. I still think that, you know, the last time we got a Metroid Prime game was the Wii U, right?
It's been a long time.
But the last one was the Wii U, right?
Man, you're jogging my memory here. I don't know. Maybe. Because
I didn't play 3 because I don't
think I played 3 either. I think I started and like I got like nowhere and I just
Yeah, the only reason why I say I didn't play 3 is because I believe
I
it's
know,
only
I
on the
know,
Wii U. That's why I didn't play it because I didn't have the Wii U.
I know. If my buddy Rob was watching, I'm sure he would know off the top of his head. But yeah, I don't know.
But I feel like they're.
But it's been a while. It's been a long time. That we haven't gotten a long time, and fucking Star Fox. Star Fox has been MIA.
Yeah, that's a lot of
And that's
characters.
another game that really could have been like a VR game, like where you're piloting an R-wing and fuck. Oh my god, that would be amazing.
So what was their thing called? What was Nintendo's old VR system? Retro Boy, Cyber Boy,
Oh, Virtual Boy.
Virtual Boy. They were
Yeah.
really gonna do another Virtual Boy?
I never heard anything about that.
No, you
So-
said you said VR. So
No,
that
no. The Switch. They were going to try to turn the Switch where you just pilot it in, and they were going to release software. I think they have released software.
So that'd
but
be
it's
like a
only,
Virtual Boy.
No, it'd be VR.
Well, Virtual
you
Boy
just
was
put it on-
VR.
No, well, not like today's VR. It's totally different. That dude, did you ever play a Virtual Boy?
It was horrible. My eyes hurt.
My eyes had hurt. I loved the fucking Galactic Pinball in Virtual Boy. That game was the shit.
Have you ever
It was awesome.
Have you ever wore the Power Gloves with it?
I've never worn Power Gloves now.
I had it. I tried it on because my uncle had it, and dude, they were the stupidest things ever. They looked cool, but they didn't work.
Yeah, no, I've never owned a Power Glove, so that's one of the Nintendo's IPs that's, I guess you could say, it failed. Right? I did have, though, for regular NES, I had the track and field pad.
I don't
It had
remember
all
that
the
one.
Oh yeah, I had that one. That was cool.
I'm gonna have to probably like search this up because I don't
Yeah.
know what that is or remember what that is.
Yeah, it was a maybe a 4 foot by 4 foot pad. You plugged it in, flopped it on the floor, and it had A B and up down left right, and you would run like with a
Oh.
track and field game, go and oh yeah, that was a shit. That was like, I mean, it wasn't DDR, but yeah, it was cool.
Okay.
I do remember having that, and it's funny you said you didn't know about it. I wonder how many other people didn't know about that accessory.
Yeah. Well, that era of Nintendo was also before my time. I came into that era late because my uncle
You're like,
introduced me.
because I just wasn't born.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. I wasn't born, but I also got introduced into the era because of my uncle, because he had most of it. So most of my knowledge came from him. But before we move on to well, I guess we're moving on from Nintendo. But
yeah, let's move on from Nintendo. That I wrapped it up. I think if it's going to happen, it's going to be with the Zelda release.
going to Nintendo property that's now Niantic's property, Pokemon Go.
It's not Niantic's property. Also, too, as we segue into Pokemon Go, I don't know if you saw this, but this is very amazing to me. I was talking to my buddy Lawrence about it.
Is that the guy that plays Destiny?
Lawrence, no, he doesn't play Destiny. That's my buddy Lamar.
Yes, I remember him from your party. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know if you saw this. It came out probably 3 weeks ago. I forgot what. It's not like Forbes, but it's like one of those things that they, for the last year, they tally up how much money a particular intellectual property makes, and Pokemon moved up to 5 for all intellectual property in the world.
I'm surprised they're not number 1. Who's number 1?
Come on, man.
What,
You know what number 1 is
Candy
That's an
Crush?
easy one. No, dude, no, we're not talking about video games. I'm talking about all intellectual properties,
Yeah.
not just video games.
Oh, Disney?
Yes, Disney's number 1. I
But-
don't remember
yeah.
2, 3, 4, but Pokemon's 5. But here's what makes this so fucking miraculous. Let's compare it to Disney. Pokemon is just Pokemon. Yes, they have games, they have trading card game, movies, yes, but it's just Pokemon. Disney is fucking huge.
Multiple
Disney-
franchises, multiple
Yes.
attractions, theme parks,
Yes.
cruisers.
I would have to dig it up and share it, and maybe we could talk about it at links another time, because I don't remember what 2, 3, 4 was, but I think Pokemon took over Hasbro's spot, which is actually also pretty impressive itself too, because they're just Hasbro.
Is Hasbro still a thing? Because I haven't
Yeah.
heard that name in such a long time. What do they make?
Well, toys.
Legos?
Action figures. No, they don't make Lego. But anyways, I just want to throw it out there since we are moving into Pokemon. I feel like that's super impressive.
I think it's kind of lame. I thought they would be number 1 or 2. I'm just saying. I
No.
have higher expectations.
I mean,
I'm just messing around.
come on, man. Disney, like no one's fucking with Disney on that one.
No.
But go ahead, introduce the next topic to everybody out there.
So, well, I've been feeling this for a while, and I'm pretty sure you have been feeling this for a while too. But Steve and I have been both playing Pokemon Go since the very beginning, 2016 when it first launched. And I've taken multiple breaks, but there was a period from 2018 to 2020 where I played regularly almost all the time. And I played regularly because I didn't feel like, when I logged into the app, it didn't feel like a job playing. But since 2020 to 2022, I feel like there's so many updates and events and all these things you got to farm to keep up to date that I just feel overwhelmed and fatigued with everything that I have to collect, complete, and capture. Do you feel this way?
100%. There, first and foremost, I know we're more or less discussing fatigue, but my rebellion per se with the game, all kudos to Niantic. We all knew it was a money-making machine, and that's fine. But the moment Mega Raids, Mega Evolution came out, and the way they had it set up as a raid tier, that's what really pissed me off. And that's when I really said, nah. I mean, they weren't really getting my money to begin with anyway. Like, I would throw in, whatever it was, the $10-$20 every now and then when they had like a really good box. But I wasn't pumping a lot of money into that game regardless. I was pretty much playing for free. But
yeah, put a guy in the gym, get 50 coins, and wait until you build up.
Exactly. But when they got that greedy, I was like, no, fuck this. Like, I'm not that I'm done. I still have my account, still active. I don't log in every day.
I play like once a month now.
No, I do play more than that. Like, I play obviously every community day, which is once a month. Which, by the way, I am looking forward to the next one because I fucking love Shiny Zigzagoon.
Oh yeah,
Galarian Zigzagoon. But yes, that was the one shiny I had to farm in Sword and Shield because I wanted so bad, and I did get it. But so the fatigue part, to coincide with what you're saying, where there's so much going on. They don't they lost that sense of allowing an event to be an event. They would start having events overlapping each other. And I guess for the ones that still enjoy it, it's probably cool and fine and dandy. But the other part, I felt like Niantic, I know they're making a shit ton of money still, and they will continue to make a shit ton of money. But I know they had a drop rate because that's when they started creating the FOMO aspect. And what I'm talking about is like that medal system. I mean, they've always had the medal system, but the one that's time sensitive, where you have 4 days to catch said amount of Pokemon, or trade the Pokemon, or evolve the Pokemon, or raid the Pokemon, which I really hate because now you're trying to force people to spend money, or unless you're doing it for free, of course. But so I didn't really care for that aspect too. I have a lot of them done. I'm not going to lie, because that was a thing that did kind of lure me back. Because yes, I did fall victim to the FOMO aspect. But once I missed a couple, I was like, well, I've already missed some, so there's that.
And the problem is that you'll never be able to get those again too.
Never be able to get those again, right? So whatever. It is what it is. I have a lot of people, and then it gets, now we could get into like the personal dynamic of it, where you have friends, why are you sending me a gift? And I was like, well, I never promised you a gift anyway. So
that was a big issue. We've had some members that got some pretty vocal, and eventually one of them got kicked because of it.
So another little insight to those out there. For our local community, Josh and I run, arguably, or from what I'm told,
Second or third
the
largest.
the largest slash most successful one in our geographic location per se.
I say Chicago all the time. I think we have the second or third biggest Pokemon group in Chicago.
Now I say that like as if we're actually doing work, but we're not because
We did a lot of work in the beginning.
Well,
we had to go out there and actively recruit people for a while.
Yes, no, you're not wrong. But right now it's at a point where it's like self-sustained with moderators, which is fine.
But that was their goal too.
That
was always their goal, to make it self-sustaining, not relied on us.
Correct, and yeah, I mean, the fact that it's in the state that it's at, I think is phenomenal. But like a part of me, like, it's almost like letting that child go, but then you didn't really want it to go. Right?
Like, I wanted to go a long time ago. I'm happy that it's finally grown up a little bit and I could talk to it in a mature way.
Okay, let me say it like this. Let me kind of, talk about that a little further. I guess what I mean by that is like, okay, also too, like COVID did a number on that game as well. Personally for me and just in general, and could probably talk ad nauseum about that too. But what I mean by that is like, before COVID, and dare I say, while it was hot and we were more less fatigued playing it, right?
Yeah.
I enjoyed going out and interacting with people. That went away, and the last couple community days I actually did go out and try.
There's no one.
There's no one.
Dude, so, I think I seen like, obviously not saying real names, but Pegasus is the only one I see, and then Pokebiker.
So I'm gonna mention not even fake names, but it sucks. Like that was what I kind of enjoyed, and that went away.
Well, to give like a mental image of what it looked like right now it's a ghost town, but there used to be hundreds of people that went out in a very specific area on Community Day, and they would do like special things. They put like things around the ground. Like, hold on, let's see if I can get it. They'd make like very cool, like little unique custom items, like Spinda rock or badges and all that stuff. Like there was
I didn't even know you got a rock. Like I don't even have a rock.
Well, I won it because there was a PvP tournament in the old Discord, and I won, and I got that rock from whatever that girl's name is.
I thought the rocks were hidden, and you had to like an Easter egg hunt, but just rocks.
There was smaller rocks, and there's also pins that were hidden too, but I didn't care for those because I let the kids have that. But I got this because I won.
Kick some ass.
Yeah, and it says Spinda.
So you like that one better because you beat up little kids for it versus the other ones you didn't have to beat up.
I beat what's his name, Uzo. He's a PvP god, and I beat him. Okay, that's impressive. I don't want to, I may have lost you with the Ninetales, but I beat some really skilled players. Okay. I'm proud of this rock.
Solar Beam from a fire Pokemon.
That was the dumbest win.
One hitter quitter.
I was full health. You were 1 HP in a dream, and somehow Solar Beam wipes me out with some kind of stupidness.
You know what they say, don't fuck with a Pokemon Master.
But no, going to your point, like, I'm not against, remote raiding. I'm not against, remote playing for Pokemon. But I do feel like there could still be a sense of community if they brought back EX raids.
So I agree with you, and I agree with that assessment that for the time, because of COVID, that needed to happen.
Well, I wouldn't say with COVID, like even after COVID, like there's more people now that have been able to play, they're disabled, they can't walk or whatever. They've been able to enjoy the game more because they have more accessibility. But I know people do want that sense of community, and that's why I feel like EX raids will be that nice medium spot because people can meet up in person and designated gyms, but then people will still get that accessibility to catch any Pokemon wherever they want.
Once again, like you're right, the accessibility is welcomed, and you could argue about needed, but it's definitely welcomed. But what I want to say is the reason why I don't want to say scared about it, but like I knew the cause and effect of it. I knew exactly how this was going to happen. People were going to get fucking lazy. They're going to want to do everything from home now, and that is exactly what happened. And it sucks. Like, that's not why the game was created. Now,
I agree.
Niantic,
I
they,
smell the
they
burning.
did they again.
It's Nabisco.
Oh, okay. So Niantic, it wasn't really their fault. It was an organic thing. They appeased, they did what they had to do, but this was the human outcome. Like, and I don't know how you resolve it. Like, they're trying.
I don't think they really want to either, because it's a combat against spoofing that makes them money.
Spoofing's not even an issue anymore. I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying.
No. I don't say that as it's not an issue that it doesn't exist. It truly does exist. I'm just saying it's not an issue that they don't give a fuck about anymore. And also, I don't think a lot of players care about that anymore. It used to be a stigmatism. Back when we played, it was a stigmatism. We didn't like it. I still don't like it. But it's now an accepted form of play.
No, what I'm saying is the reason why they didn't like is because people that spoofed were able to get things quicker without paying. But because this whole remote thing, people decide, why do I have to update spoofing every whatever week, whatever, I forgot what the spoofing was. But they made, because of the accessibility, people now pay for raid passes in the store, and Niantic's making money while combating spoofing from taking money from them. It's a money issue. That's the only reason why they were against spoofing, not because people could play anywhere. It's because people were able to go to gyms and collect Pokemon, do raids, compared to, playing legitly and spending money. That's why the accessibility came in and gave them more money. Because you got to admit, once the pandemic happened, their gains, profit-wise, skyrocketed.
Oh, just went through the fucking roof.
That's because they
and that was expected. And that was even without the pandemic. The moment you introduce a remote raid pass, you knew that was going to happen.
Yes, but they combated spoofing monetary wise. That's why they want to do this accessibility so they can make more money off of it.
I can't agree with that. I can't.
And the only reason why I say this is because they
okay, if that was their incentive, then they would have released it before the pandemic.
Well, I don't think they figured it out until after.
No, be quiet.
No,
you know that was figured out a long time ago. Stop it.
See, listen, this is my reason. Because when Pokemon first came out, we got like 100 coins per gym, right, for every day. Then they nerfed it to 50 because of spoofing. And then they raised the price of certain items. Like, for example, raid passes. They used to be 100, now they're 300 or 200, whatever. They raised the price on raid passes, remote raid passes.
Oh, remotes. No. Did they?
Yeah, there's a huge backlash about it. And I don't know if they reverted it or if it's still the same, but I know that the price of remote raid passes did go up.
Okay. So what's your point?
So I'm saying that because now they're in a spot where spoofing is an issue, they can control whatever price they have now.
No, it's not spoofing his issue. The issue, I think their issue is they're trying to take something back that people got comfortable doing.
Well, yeah.
That's their issue.
But also,
and it's damn near irreversible.
I still think that they can bring it back, but they can't force it back. They like I said, EX raids will get people back out there.
It will get a large population back out there, but it will not get everybody. Well, okay,
the people that want community will get their community back. Like, obviously,
if a community wants to get the community back, the community will get their community back. I agree with you, but those are probably like really small town communities.
I know, but I'm saying the people that actually do want to be sociable will go out to those EX spots, and they know that's a set location, so they get their happy social event. While the people that want to play it.
I would like to see them try, but I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Oh, they definitely won't bring all socials.
Because remember, even I think it was right at the turn of the pandemic when they actually still had EX raids going. Remember, they added that aspect of inviting a guest.
Yeah, and then they just completely scrapped the X-rays because of the
Well, because of
pandemic.
COVID, yeah.
But they could bring it back. That was a great system that they had. I loved that system.
They may not, because like I'm gonna throw out. I'm not calling him an influencer, but he is to a certain degree. But I don't know his real name, but the guy that does Cerebi.net, like he refuses to go out and play in the real world because of his compromised immune system and all that stuff. So he's a large advocate of having things kind of the way they stayed during the pandemic, which is fine because, like himself and other people with those same situations, it makes sense for them to stay. But there's just that large amount of people that it's not that they're abusing the system, it's just they become complacent in the system.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The people that actually want to be social, these EX raids will let them be social. And it will give the people that don't want to be social a way.
But what I'm saying is it's not going to happen because you can't cater to both.
No, well, yeah, you can. That's what I'm saying. These EX raids, people that actually want to go out and talk to people will go to these EX raid spots and meet other people that are just like them that won't be sociable. While the other people that don't want to go out, they will be happy because they don't have to participate.
But then they won't get the EX raids.
That's the risk that we'll have to take. But it's a compromise.
but that's my point. That's why I don't see it happening.
No, but
I'm with you. I would like to see it come back.
But I'm saying that it's about
you have to find a way to force people. Although
forcing isn't a good word. You have to have options. If you don't want to be sociable, don't go to the X raids. If you want to be sociable, or if you want the X raids, you gotta be sociable. Like give them two options. Don't take away accessibility, but also don't take away sociability. Like the EX raids is for social, remote is for people that want to play solo or whatever. So it gives you two options to play whatever way you want. Like there's no perfect system, but they give you two options for whatever player wants to play.
Mm-hmm.
Like like if you can think of another way to not force one side or the other to play a certain way, this is for both players to do whatever they want.
It's just like, I guess it depends on. I mean, it's always gonna be about money, so that's why I don't see the days of how sociable it was will return, because
gas prices.
Well, shit, that actually does have an effect on it now that you mention it.
I don't play that much.
But like, to your point, to appease to the masses, or to all accessibility, it could continue the way it is. But if it continues the way it is, then what I'm saying is it'll never return to that. I'm not going to call it glory days of sociability, but like, it just won't.
Actually, hold on. I'm going to correct that. Only because you and I both follow Pokemon Go on socials, right?
I do, but I don't know if I like read everything that they put out there.
But the people that really, really want to be social, like, look at those events. Like, look at the Safari, look at the Go Fest. There's still loads of people going out there, hundreds of people, thousands of people. So that community part isn't dead because of those events.
But those are events. That's different than the local community day events that we used to go out and flourish and have a good time.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, like you said,
that's my conversation. Like, you're right. Those events are always going to be flocked with people. Like, I was close to going out to Seattle this weekend.
I want to go to.
But when I saw the fucking, talk about gas prices, when I saw the airfare shit, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think it's worth it anymore.
Yeah, it's like $500-$600 if you want to do like a week before.
Yeah, I think it might have been a little bit more, if I'm being honest, when I looked. But I think it was like 800. But yeah, so like those events are always going to blossom, and like even last year when I went to the Go Fest, remember with the fucking egg and all that shit? Like, actually,
was that a Go Fest? I don't think that was a Go Fest. I think that was just a normal event. Like
yeah, now you got me thinking if it was Go Fest or not. But whatever that was, I mean, there's a ton of people.
Yeah. I hope they do more of those, because that was a cool egg with the Rayquaza popping out. And all
it was very anticlimactic though. Like, it was cool. The setup was cool, and the vibe, the atmosphere, obviously, like, that was all cool. But like, it was in my opinion, it was very anticlimactic.
At least they did something.
That's true. But yeah, I'm talking about the community ones. Like, I just don't see those returning. Now, obviously, there's a lot of people that don't care, and that's fine. I'm just saying, for me, that was something that I enjoyed doing.
Sounds like
So,
you need to go to more events.
or that, or
Yeah.
that.
I mean, like I see your side, and I guess like I said, no side will truly be happy because I guess a balanced system, both sides will find gripes and both sides will find positives. But in today's Pokemon Go thing, the only reason why I'm fatigued is just because there's way too much to do. But the sense of community is still there if you seek it out, and the sense of accessibility is also there because of this remote stuff. So my fatigue is just too many events.
Too many events. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. At least the in-game stuff, not the real life stuff. Looks like we got 6 minutes to 2 hours. Or
The
something
one thing
like that.
that Pokemon Go definitely needs is Discord.
So the final topic of today, with the slick segue. I'll be honest, I didn't read the entire article, but I know you know it pretty
I've known about
fluently.
this for years.
So Microsoft and Discord just what I guess you call it a contract.
Well, they so Discord has been in solar for a long time, but Microsoft wanted to buy them. Discord said no. So because the whole
Smart.
Microsoft wanted to buy Discord, Discord was like, all right, we'll strike up a partnership, and they went with PlayStation. So this was like a year ago. They announced a partnership with PlayStation to bring Discord to their system, and then Microsoft was like, we don't want to be left behind. Let's do the same thing. Let's strike a bargain, and Discord will be integrated into the Xbox UI, which is a great thing for gamers because now all consoles, PC, PlayStation, Xbox, will all now have a dedicated voice chat or text chat to communicate with all devices. And I think that's a fantastic thing, a win for gamers, just like crossplay.
100%. Oh yeah, 100%. It's that. I mean, it's connecting all the universes together, right? I mean,
Switch needs to get on this.
I mean, I don't know what benefits that gives Switch if they can't even get their own freaking online play working. I mean, but yeah, no, I think it's fantastic. I don't really have a lot to bring to this topic except that yeah, it's fucking great. Like it's it's good that there is a service that could actually do this and
it's neutral.
Not only that it's neutral, but it's dare I say it's flawless, but it's like it just works, right? It's like it's like a it's a perfect marriage. It really is. Like it's like saying if I don't know what would that be like fucking 6-8 years ago that Skype did this. I'm not saying that Skype would have been able to successfully do it, but I'm just saying it's good that Discord's there to do this, and they're gonna achieve it.
I was actually about to say Skype. So if you don't know, Microsoft bought Skype a long time ago. Skype was growing. Skype became popular. Then Microsoft took over. Microsoft had the possibility to be Discord, but they got too greedy. This was in their greedy mindset from 2010 to 16.
You're right.
And during that time, Discord popped up and obviously outgrew them. So that's why it killed Skype. But that's why when Microsoft said they wanted to buy Discord, everybody's like, yo, hold up. You killed Skype. We don't want this to happen to Discord.
But once to kind of rewind for a second, I mean, I don't know if you heard me say it as you were talking, but I said it was smart for them not selling because some CEOs or whatever shareholders would be like, they see that check,
and they offered a really big check
and take it and run. So I applaud them for not selling and allowing them to just go with a partnership. I think that's great. To your point, great for the gamers. Gamers win with this in this situation. So
I think another reason why they didn't sell is because both PlayStation and Xbox tried to buy them for a large amount of money, and Discord was like, you know what, they're smarter. They're like, why sell when we can make more if we own it?
I mean, it's they're investing in themselves, and if they, um, by them having a partnership with both major companies, you pretty much now monopolized.
Yeah, they monopolize the social network for gamers.
They won. They
Yeah.
won. They
Well,
absolutely won. So like it's just brilliant. And kudos to them. I mean that's really all I could say. Like it's great. I don't know how. I don't want to sit here and overanalyze on how this could go bad, but like I don't know how it does.
I don't see any negative because you know everything is connected, but I am curious why it took them nearly 2 years to do it. Because
Like logistics. I'm
well,
sure.
obviously there is like paper, legal stuff behind it, but like
Yeah.
PlayStation announced a partnership, like neutral partnership with them for like a year and a half.
I guarantee you, Microsoft really probably just wanted to figure out how they could sustain without it. But because you do have the crossover games nowadays,
It's like mandatory.
dare I say this, because this is going to sound very good in Microsoft's favor. I think them allowing this is just their way of giving back in some weird fucking way.
Well, I meant
to the gamer.
Microsoft needs to give back because I mean, as much as I'm a Microsoft fan, they own way too much. Like, not
I think this is. I mean, sorry to cut you off again. I don't follow them like you do, so I don't know. Like, I know you mentioned the whole greedy thing with Skype, but I think, dare I say, this is the first. But it's a good step for them to show. Look, we don't have to be greedy.
I think at this point, because they dominate so much of the market, they don't care anymore.
Well, actually, it may in some capacity they may be learning from a mistake.
Oh, they definitely learned from overreaching from Skype, and then
so they tried to monopolize and failed, and seen another company rise up to pretty much make their acquisition non-existent. Now it's almost like they're forced to succumb and be like, you know what, we tried, we lost. Kind of similar to the Blu-ray HD DVD thing, right? Once Sony got Disney behind them, they're like, fuck.
Well, not only that, but like the data on Blu-ray was just so much more advanced than HD DVD.
Well, we don't have to go into all those details. Moral of the story is like they realized a defeat.
Yeah.
And they just, hey, you know what? Can we get in on that Blu-ray action? Sure, pay us this.
As much as I want to say it's for the gamers, I think Xbox also had a sinister mindset behind this, because I know you don't follow them, but Xbox has been doing a lot of pushback on Sony because Sony didn't want crossplay for a lot of their games. And Xbox was trying to make it mandatory. And they weren't doing it out of the kindness of their heart. They just wanted to look better in the public eye.
Well...
And the only reason why I say this is because...
We'll see what happens right here in the near future, because with the recent acquisition of Activision and such...
Like I said...
Let's see what they do with things like Modern Warfare. I mean...
No, they're definitely going to keep it cross-platform because...
Well, they said that, but,
It would be stupid for them not to, because they make so much money.
Stupid. No, yeah, I agree with you, but I'm just saying...
I think Microsoft cares way too much about money than exclusivity at this point. That's why, like, if you look at their overall market, they own the majority of cloud service gaming. Like, Azure is the biggest cloud performing system out there with xCloud. They own Game Pass, which is on PC and console. And not only that, but Xbox is also doing well. And they also make money off of Microsoft products from PCs. So they have like 4 different markets they're making money from. So they don't care about PlayStation with their single console. But they're trying to constantly push them back because they know they got the upper hand in the market. And also,
I mean, they do, obviously, but like, this is an ample opportunity, though, for them to because the IP is so strong and so notorious, it could be a window for them to try it. Because like I'm not saying they failed with Halo, but they definitely botched Halo.
Yeah, they did.
And
if we're talking,
if they wanted to play hardball, this would be the time for them to try. I agree with you. It would be the dumbest, in my opinion, it'd be the dumbest fucking move. But because they lack in that department, if they really cared about a war, which they really shouldn't, because they're making, to your point, a ton of money. I'm just saying this would be a time for them to try.
If they were going to do an exclusivity thing, it would be single player content. Multiplayer, it doesn't make sense because they would be cutting their profits in half.
No, and that could be a way for them to do it for sure.
It's like single player could see exclusive.
But that wouldn't garnish them a lot of like people like shift over to that exclusives. I can't even talk.
You'd be surprised the power of Bethesda.
A single player campaign. Well,
oh yeah. Like maybe. Overwatch, for example. Overwatch will never be exclusive, but like if Overwatch was exclusive, a lot, especially in the Asian market, which Xbox doesn't win, but if Overwatch was exclusive to Xbox, a lot of Asian players would go get Xbox or PC.
I mean, like I said, that becomes official like June of next year, so we'll probably know a little bit after that, probably another year's time. So. I agree with you. I don't see it happening. I'm just saying, if there was a time, it would probably be then.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
For them to experiment. So with that, that is all our topics for today that we had planned. But I want to throw in a little curveball here and call an audible, if you don't mind. Can I have a final topic for today?
Sure.
This is not in your wheelhouse, and I understand that, but I feel like it's very large news, which you may or may have not come across, and it's in my wheelhouse. But Vincent Kennedy McMahon has retired as CEO of WWE.
Wow!
I think that is,
How long has he been like the manager? Like 40 years?
Since he's fucking been born. If you his
like
dad
he owned WWF, right?
Yeah. I mean, his dad owned it, and once his, dad was done, he passed it off to him. So now he is passing it off to Stephanie McMahon and another CEO named Triple H is the executive vice president of talent and relations, I believe. He just came back like 48 hours ago. We're not going to talk about this ad nauseum. I know it's not in your wheelhouse.
No, go ahead. I want to hear it.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's huge. I don't follow the WWE product anymore.
Yeah, because you follow AEW. No, what do you follow?
Yeah, because I follow a promotion called AEW nowadays. I just don't follow in the capacity of watching WWE anymore. I do read what they call dirt sheets or whatever and updates. So I'm in tune with the product, just not like I can't stomach the content, so to speak, on a week by week basis. But this could change, and it could be really good for wrestling fans. We will see. I just wanted to bring that up. I think it's huge. If anybody in the chat eventually wants to talk about it, we could talk about it. But yeah, just want to throw that out because that just happened like hours before we started our first ever podcast. And I'm a huge wrestling fan, so I just felt like I had to bring that up.
Since I'm not like a wrestling fan like you are, can you explain to me like why it could be a potential positive? Is it because Vince McMahon was gatekeeping a lot of wrestling, or
100%? Gatekeeping is probably not so strong word to use. He has the absolute final say in everything that happens with the WWE.
So he's
like Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown show. Like legit, every week that man, like, he has writers, right? Just like any TV show, any movie, he has a team of writers that writes the stories, writes the matches, even, right? That man would show up. They'll that day legit take it, rip it up, and pretty much write the show on the fly while he's there. He was a total control freak. Did he have his glory days in the past and shit? 100%. But that's why, kind of segue a little bit. I think that's why AEW grew in popularity because it was. I
More
wouldn't say a
freedom.
fan. Yes, more freedom. The wrestlers get to um, kind of control their storylines a little bit. And Vince, no, that man controls everything. So this could be good news for their product. But it's a wait and see thing.
Do you think we could ever? Do you think we'll ever see a wrestling crossover like AEW versus WWE versus
Yes.
what's the other one? TNT. What's the third one?
Well, there's a lot of you could argue what the major promotions are. There's
Which one has Sting?
WWE still won. Even I could admit that. You could argue AEW is 2. You could even argue it's 3. But you have New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is Japan's number one.
I heard that
promotion.
one's blowing up like crazy right now. Like
it's not even just now. They've been a strong entity for a number of years. It's just we're in the western side of the world, so.
Well, I heard the reason why it's blowing up is because, like, obviously, you know, wrestling, WWE and AEW have like they take risk with like dives and all that stuff, but like apparently the Chinese organization, they have no guards. Like they get hurt like badly over there.
No, I mean they do have a strong style wrestling, but as far as like popularity of their product, like I guess dare you call them the WWE of Japan because that's really what they are. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of the Tokyo Dome. Tokyo Dome is massive. They sell that out. That's like they have like a WrestleMania like event there every year called Wrestle Kingdom. It's really popular, extremely popular. So you got those 3. You have TNA, which is
TNA. That's the one I'm thinking about.
Yeah, you have TNA still. Ring of Honor just returned, but the owner of AEW owns Ring of Honor. And there's like some other smaller promotions that are really big too. So to answer your question though, I think now that Vince is gone, there is a very high probability. I would put maybe 3-4 years we might see something like that, and I think that would be the epitome of amazing.
Because if one thing would ever bring me back to wrestling, because like I said, I watched wrestling from like 2005 to 2008. But I would love to see a triple promotion Royal Rumble where you got AEW, TNA, and WWE, all their best fighters going to the ring, like 50-man brawl, and duke it out to see which promotion is the best, and they hold their crown up. I think that'd be dope because
it would. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say like the last wrestling I've seen besides obviously the wrestling matches with you with AEW, but TNA when they had Sting and some of those like really grungy rowdy dudes, like they would get crazy in those rings, and I'd love to see that versus WWE.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I dare I say speak for millions of wrestling fans out there. Yeah, I don't think there's many people that would not want to see that. I mean, even though we all know, or I shouldn't say we all know, most of us know it's fake.
Yeah. But that doesn't take away from the story and the fun.
No, it takes nothing away with the athleticism of what the performers do and the sacrifices they take and all that stuff. So yeah, I would love to see it.
So will it
take us home?
I'm just gonna say, now that this is happening, are you gonna watch more WWE or no?
I don't know yet. Not immediately. No.
It's gotta build up.
Can they lure me in? Yeah, totally. They might lure me back in.
Okay. Well, I guess that's it. We actually went a lot. Well, hold on. Before we end this, I just gotta say that I just looked at the chat because this is wrapping up. BMU603 says you have really cool swords.
Thank you.
But we went a lot longer than we thought. We were aiming for like an hour for our first episode, but hey, we just kept chatting.
2 hours.
Had fun. 2 hours. But yes, thank you guys for watching the Out of Mana podcast. Episode 1 is done. Episode 2 would be.
We hope you replenished all your mana.
Yeah. But I don't know the dates, but episode 2 will be hopefully next Friday, if nothing interrupts us.
I am more than down to keep this as static Friday 6 p.m. as much as possible. I know schedules tend to get in the way, but if it works for you, it works for me.
We will always try to aim for Friday, 6 p.m. Central Time, obviously, depending on life, but the majority of the time would be Friday, 6 p.m. Central Time. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys later.
And on to the chat.